Today's unboxing video, we have something special. So we are going after all of my famous mini consoles these days, mostly because they're not put away all the way. So today we've got this PlayStation Classic that comes sealed, and PlayStation has always sealed their boxes, you know, and so we're checking this out. As far as PlayStation goes, it was one of the best systems out there. I mean, it really was. The PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 was really at the height of video gaming, and it was back when everybody was really into, they come home from school or come home from work, and it was just a major thing that we all loved PlayStation back then. You know, the Nintendo 64 was out, and Nintendo 64 was like the thing, and then PlayStation came out. And when PlayStation came out, it was like, it seemed more adult-like because the games were not restricted as much. Like, see, with Nintendo, you always got these, like, comical kids kind of games kind of going. And there wasn't all these, like, real adult ones. I mean, okay, so we had Doom on there. And we had, like, what? Maybe, like, 007 or some games that had a little bit of something. But it seemed like the PlayStation was for the more mature audience, if that makes sense. We were always, like, looking for games that were really cool. And PlayStation started putting games, like, it seemed like they put more games out than any game system I had ever seen. I mean, literally, you could go and it was just CD after CD on the rack. It was ridiculous. Everybody knows this, you know. And back when it came out, it was like 95 or 96. Apparently, obviously, it came out in Japan before it came out here. And with the PlayStation itself, they actually had a contract deal with Nintendo, or they were working with Nintendo. Nintendo wanted to make a disc-based system, and that didn't fall through. It was like a Super Nintendo with Sony on it, with PlayStation and Sony kind of, and they had. Back then, it was basically a Super Nintendo. They wanted to do something where it was disc-related because discs were kind of like turning into the thing. It took a while for PlayStation to actually get somewhere, Sony to actually get out of the hole of Nintendo and do its own thing. And so, back in 95 and 96 was basically when, you know, you're coming home from school and your buddy has this game and you have that game, and it was always about, they had more mature kind of rated games, in my opinion. And I think that's back when the rating system really started to hit, because game systems were coming out with these games that had like more adult content. And I think, to be honest, the adult content thing obviously started on the computer, the PCs, but, you know, I think the very first real console system that had adult content was the Neo Geo. There was like multiple versions of the Neo Geo, and it was so damn expensive. I don't know if it's $700-800. And there was like was there a gold system or a red system? They had these different systems. I remember going into Babbage's, and which was before GameStop took over the name, and you had actual these consoles called Neo Geo sitting there, and they were just so overpriced, it was ridiculous. But that you had to be over a certain age to buy the games or something. That's what they were claiming back then, anyways. Like, this day and age, they don't even bother to check anybody's anything. But you had to be over 18 to buy one of the consoles. I don't know if it was the red Neo Geo or what. They had them labeled like that, like black, red. I don't know. It's been a while, and I'm not going to look the crap up. I don't have a Neo Geo console because It was just overpriced, ridiculous. Really, it was. And nobody I know really had one, and why would you? The games that were making it were PlayStation, Nintendo, and when the Xbox came out, Xbox really started to take... people say that it was down in sales because the original Xbox... I didn't buy the first Xbox when it first came out, because everybody had a following of PlayStation and Nintendo, so when Xbox came out, they were getting a hard time. But when they had blockbuster games hit, boy, oh boy, Xbox took off. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to unbox this thing, and we're going to show you video of how it works, everything that you need to know. Subscribe, like if you want, but there's going to be a lot more videos coming, so this ain't the only thing. Now, when it comes to an unboxing, obviously it does come sealed, as you can see at the top here, and I have two original PlayStation consoles. I have this kind of version of the original PlayStation, and I think we called it I don't know if there was a PSX, like a PlayStation X, and then a PlayStation 1. So what is this? Just the PlayStation? I did not have the small one. There was like this one that they came out with, and it was like a mini. And it was like one of the last productions of PlayStations. It was like a real small, compact, literally just a lid. It was really small. And that one, I never bought that one because I thought it was crap. And it just wasn't cool. It looked like some sort of throwaway. And it was already too late. Like, I think PlayStation 2 had already been out by the time that came out. I don't know. So we're checking this out. This is how it comes. So this console is really cool because you could mod it. The original one, which I was going to break out, but I have it put away. As you can see in the background, I have my PlayStation 3 box, my PlayStation 2 box. My PlayStation 1 box is gray, and it is an original. I did not want to dig it out from the totes. It's in like some of the bottom of the totes. I had put it away like a dumbass. So I was going to put it out for this video, but in future videos, I'm going, after I pull everything back out of the totes and set up the game room, that will be a real deep showing of everything and all that. But the cool thing about this is the original console, you could hook something into here and you'd put a spring in here and it would keep the game spinning because it thought the disc was closed. That's why you'd put the spring in there. And you could put the mod on the back of here and you could play Japanese games, or you could do cheat codes. That's how like the Game Shark kind of idea worked. It plugged into the back of the console. And so I have a ton of games, and I was able to play Japanese games and all that stuff. So you'd put an original disc in, so it'd boot it up. You'd get that boot screen that everybody talks about. And so there's like my product number there. I got this from Discount, if I'm correct, Discount something on eBay. I did not buy this originally when it first came out because I was upset that it didn't come with crap for games on it. Like, we wanted more games. We were hoping they were going to do a part 2. But as you can see on here, these are some of the games. And we have a lot of junk on the bottom there. This is what the bottom of it looks like, if anybody's kind of wondering. And we're going to do a full unboxing and video showing. This is kind of like what it comes with. Okay, so, it's kind of cheap, but it is what it is. I ended up having to have it for my collection. It's cheap and easy. These things didn't cost much. People are selling these for a lot of money. Like a lot more than you would expect. Usually, you can pick this up for like $70 to $80. And most people that are stupid are going to pay over $100 something. This console isn't that great, because it doesn't have what you want to have as far as PlayStation games. So I'm doing what I'm not supposed to do. I can't find razor blades, man. I don't know where they are. Okay? There's somewhere in this house. I don't know what happened there that I can't find stuff. But we're going to do this, and we're going to do it, you know, because we're crazy. And that's just all that's to it. So, we're checking this out. See how that opens? Like, that's just crazy. Like, what do you expect here? What do you expect? Which way is it? Well, I have no idea how it comes out. Holy moly, that sucker's in there. Does it come out of there or what? Holy moly. Hey, you guys are going to have a problem getting this thing out. Is it supposed to come out like this? I mean, what's going on here, people? Wow. I mean, talk about junk, right? So, the original PlayStation controllers were like this, and they didn't have the little joysticks down here or the DualShock. That was much later. Obviously somebody has double stickered this, you know, so this sticker was supposed to be on here. So I think it's been opened, in my opinion. So we're gonna get this sucker open here. Now, when PlayStation first came out, everybody had to have it. There was lines. It was horrible. So obviously the box itself is pretty simple. It's cool. It's got the little emblem on there and pretty basic. There's nothing else as far as, you know, you got your product number. I mean, I'm just going to end up putting this thing away in the long run, right? So obviously you get your little manual here. And, you know, it's going to tell you everything. And then the back here, which I'm not even going to bother to open this because it's just going to be a waste. You know, it's just going to be like foreign languages and bullshit in there. I'm surprised they even have an instruction manual. We pretty much know how to use it. So this side here shows you just how small this thing is. This is it. I don't know if it just pops out of here or if you have to open this sucker up. How do you open this sucker up? Oh, you open it up like a cake. Everybody want their PlayStation cake today? So here's our PlayStation cake, everybody. Wow, it's really hard to get out of there. It's really on there. So this thing comes itty bitty. We're opening this sucker up. Oh my god, it's really sealed. What the hell? What the heck did you guys do? There's a piece of tape there or something? I mean, I have to cut this thing? Are you serious? I mean, this is where it gets dangerous around here. I mean, why do I gotta use a damn knife to do this? Seriously, people. So, anyways, you got the bag that's crazy. Obviously, it's got these little foam. And this foam is like, it feels like foam, actually. And then you got your serial number on there, which I don't care if you see because it's just going away and being put away. I'm not really going to use it. We are going to show gameplay of how it works, though. So what is in this? Does this even open up? No. I don't think it does, but it looks like it does. That's really weird. What the f... I have no idea. I don't think so. I think that's just for looks. That's really weird. Well, I guess that's how it comes. As you can see, there's your HDMI, there's your power. It's pretty cheap, you know. The memory card slots do not work on this. And then they have cheaply put in by China USB ports. And then it does not open. That's probably... I don't know what that button will do, but we'll look into that. Does it say what it does? It just says open button. It's literally just a button that does nothing. I mean, man, let me get in there, man. I can't get in there. And then you got your power and your reset. Now, those probably work. Let's see what this sucker comes with. So we're not just going to cover this PlayStation thing here. We're also covering... Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? How come this thing don't come out? Holy cow. Does it come apart somehow? The stuff is in here, people. Like, it's like part of the box. And I've never seen something. Oh my God, there it goes. Holy cow, it just comes right out somehow. Good luck getting that sucker out of there, because boy, oh boy, what a headache that was. Okay, so we got our 2 controllers in here. And I'm surprised it even come with 2 controllers. Because I think the Nintendo Mini only came with 1 controller. And you had to buy the other controller. But as you can see, they do kind of look like original controllers here. Let's find out what we got. Whoa, it's coming out all over. So it is pretty lightweight, but it feels very, feels actually good. It feels good in your hands. It doesn't feel like really cheap. What is that? And let's check out the back here. So that's what yours is going to say if you have one or going to get one. And then here's this cheap little connector here. It doesn't seem too bad. It's got a little QR code on there. Really strange, isn't it? And then, you know, it doesn't feel, it feels like the original controller, so it shouldn't be Chinese knockoff. Of course, it comes with an HDMI cable, which is kind of like, I don't know if I would use it or not. You know, I would probably use my own. And then here is the power cable. Now, here's the problem we have with the power cable. And I need to let you guys know this. Most people don't know this, so you got to listen to me here, okay? When it comes to these, it's about a 5 volt, okay? And some of the things you would plug a USB into, sometimes they go over 5 volts. And you don't want something that modulates or fluctuates. You want something that's regulated at 5 volts and stays constant at 5 volts. You could be just under 5 volts, like 4.9. But when you start going over the 5 volt reference, that's when it can damage your console, okay? People don't know this, and people will just plug this into any USB thing. Don't do that. Get something. So Amazon makes these little USB testers. They're like $9, maybe $20 at the most. And if you're going to Home Depot to buy one, which would be ridiculous, there is a Klein one named Klein with a K. And it's for testing USB ports. Home Depot has it. And it's probably 30 or 40 bucks. Way over the margin, okay? So as you can tell, it's got the connector that plugs in to this little small port design there, and it's kind of boxed in and whatnot. And it's upside down, but okay. I figure the right side up would be like HDMI. As far as it goes, all these systems, like the TurboGrafx, it came like this. It came with just a connector. And to do a wall plug, if you're buying a wall plug, make sure you buy the right one that's regulated at 5 volts, not one that spikes or anything, because it can actually damage this, and then it'll actually damage your system. Why am I telling you this? Because this system does not come with a power regulator. It doesn't regulate the power properly, and it's going to get blown up. How do I know this? Because I know this. And even the TurboGrafx system says something like that, which I have not done a review on. I'm just doing these reviews for the hell of it, kids. So, as you can see, controllers are pretty nice, and it's not bad. But we're not just covering this PlayStation Mini here. I'm going to show you some gameplay, and I'm going to show you the full teardown of this next. But before we get to that, I want to touch base on stuff with the PlayStation. As you can see in the background here, there's a PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 2. The boxes are mint condition. Why? Because I didn't set those out for them to collect dust. Those were actually put away in a closet, you know. So they're actually day one brand new. You opened them up, took the thing out, and played with the system. That's literally how it was. So I put the boxes away. My PlayStation box and console is put away in a tote. I already did that, and it's like, God dang it, why did I do that? But you can't fit everything in the video. Unless if I did panorama screen, then we could really do it. But what I wanted to touch base on, and a lot of people don't understand this, is PlayStation had PlayStation Magazine in 1997. I had PlayStation Magazine subscription, and this is how they would come with the magazine. So for those of you who don't know, I have the magazines downstairs, and some of them, most of them, still in the plastic. You could buy these at the store. So you go to the convenience store and, oh, I got to get that PlayStation Magazine. And it came with these demo discs. And here is, and I've never opened this one because I didn't bother. I think it has a Colossus on the front. Is that Colossus game? That's what it kind of looks like. Shadow of Colossus, if I'm correct. Anyways, you're talking, was it 97 they came out with PlayStation Magazine? And it could have been later, like 98, but I can't remember. The point here is, take a look at how many damn discs I have. And I have even more. Like, I literally have a ton more. This is all PlayStation, dog. Oh, yeah. So, these are all demo discs from PlayStation Magazine. In my hand is probably well over 50. And for me to grab all of them and put them, like, what is that? Number 78, issue 78. What issue is this? 84. 86. I mean, you just keep going here. Now, here's what's crazy. These are like unmarked up, actually. These are actually mint condition. The demo discs are worth a lot of money, guys. If you go on eBay trying to get these demo discs, if you have the demo disc with the issue, so the magazine and the demo disc, which I obviously have, I would just put the stack of them and then put them away in the drawer. That would so that way nobody would take them, steal them, drop them, scratch them. And then the magazines were off to the side, like a big stack of magazines. It's just ridiculous. So you're gonna see these for a high price. Most people on eBay, okay, they have these, like I have, like a stack of them for like, probably a cheap price, because they may not know, okay? But if you have the magazine and the disc, okay, it actually goes for a lot of money. And here's why. Because the discs were one time made, you cannot get these ever again. Okay? They're not going to remake these ever again. You can get Resident Evil, okay, right now, and in the future, they're going to do another Resident Evil. You know what I mean? I mean, it just keeps coming out. So, when it came to PlayStation, that's how it was, okay? I had PlayStation Magazine, and I got every single one of them. I think there was only one that I got that actually came broken, and I was so pissed. So I went and bought the magazine from the convenience store. That's the problem I had, right? So just look at this stack and imagine a whole lot more downstairs. I'm not going to sit there and grab all of them for a video. And the Xbox was doing it as well. Everybody was doing this. So you would get your magazine and you would get these in the thing. I'm not too sure how Xbox originally started doing it. Okay, because I've got the originals, and everything for the Xbox. These are worth a lot of money. I can't remember exactly how Xbox would do theirs. I don't know if it came like these first, and then to make it cheaper, it came like this. But this is the demo disc that came with Xbox Magazine. Playable only on the 360. And what's important about this is I'm just trying to show you, how important these actually are. If you have these with the magazine, okay, that they came with, okay, because a lot of people don't understand. I have a ton of these, and these came in the plastic containers, and the demo disc is inside of these, okay? And these demo discs for the Xbox, these are worth a lot of money, and people don't know it. Some people do, some people don't. If you have them like this with the magazine, you see the episodes right there? 2006, 2008, 2000, the month, the date on there, and then the magazine that goes with it. You got some money there. And here's why. They can't remake these. These are one-time made. You'll never see them again. And people don't know that. So if you're at one of those places like the convention center, and you have all these game collectors and game people, and they're selling this for high dollar without the magazine, you'd be like, dude, I'm not going to pay you. And you got to wiggle them down. You got to tell them, I'm not paying you that kind of money for one of these without the magazine. It's got to have the magazine and this, and then it's worth the money. Don't let them screw you. Don't let them screw you. So I wanted you guys out there, if you guys made it this far in the video, and the video is going to be a lot longer than this, we're going to have gameplay and everything. So you guys got to stick with it, okay? These memory cards, this is how it was back in the day. This is what we would do, okay? And they went obviously into these memory card slots 1 and 2. It's a memory card on there, if it can even focus. See, that's why I like doing it with my hand instead of holding it. That's why I like holding it rather than putting a stand. Right now, I'm using the stand method for that guy that'll make him happy, but to be honest, I like one continuous shot where I can actually zoom in and show you the detail. And there are so many ways. But so, anyways, these things, I have original PlayStation ones, and then I have the performance ones, and these were great. You could always write down what they had and everything. And I've got even more. You know how many of these memory cards I have? I probably have like 20 of them downstairs. It's ridiculous. And I've probably even lost a few of them. So when you get in there, there's like a clear one made by Pelican. A PlayStation. This is an original one right there. Okay, that's how they originally were. And then you could write in there what they were. If I had known that anything was going to be worth money, I probably would have bought 2 of them. But see, back then, it was all about being a kid and buying up. Why so important? So obviously you can see that Resident Evil, I just dropped this on the floor and cracked it. Literally before I did this video. I was like getting ready to do stuff and I dropped it. This comes with a bonus disc, Dino Crisis. Just imagine, PlayStation games came like this after a point. The original PlayStation games came like this. This is how original PlayStation games came. When the system first came out, this is how they came. And just so you guys know, this original PlayStation Resident Evil game is actually worth $300 or more. And people, some of them are selling it for $100 on eBay. But I'm telling you right now, an original one in the box, it's worth a lot of money. If you have this sealed, it could be $500 or more. It probably over $1,000. See, people are doing that with what is it? People are doing that with Nintendo 64, sealed or in box, hundreds of dollars. Your Zelda games. Well, this is the Zelda of PlayStation, pretty much. This was like the first horror game, and we're going to do a video on that later. But this is how they actually came. It came with like paper, and then this is like plastic ridges right here. Okay? And that's how they came. The very first PlayStation games came out like this. I don't care what you say, I know for a fact. So, and then they started doing this, which was cheaper and better. And then they started doing greatest hits ones where it was green and said greatest hits or something. So those are later production. What I wanted to show you is that these original boxes here, okay? These original boxes are in mint condition, okay? And I did buy the 80 gigabit when it first came out, and you could cook eggs on this PlayStation 3, okay? And this is why I don't like using a stand. Like, some people are like, hey, use a stand. You got to use a stand. Do you have any idea what it takes to be able to move this stand? And, you know, it's like you got to hold it and move shit. I mean, think about that, guys. You know, that's why I like holding it and showing you hands-on instead of reaching around. Okay, so this box is like mint. A PlayStation 2 that's mint. Mint, mint, mint. And as you can see, this PlayStation 2, that's how they sealed them back then. When this came out, there was a line, okay? There was a line at the mall. I don't think GameStop was around, or was it GameStop? I'm not sure. I think it was Babbage's, really, still. But I'm not sure. All I know is, when it came to PlayStation 2, there was a line, like, as far as the eye could see at the mall. And it was a line, like, people were going to fight for that thing. And the only place you could get it was pretty much the mall. It wasn't about going to Walmart. Nobody went to Walmart to get that. I don't know where I mean, there was, like, people. It was horrible. It was the mall that we were getting that. So, I tried to touch base on a lot of stuff. There's probably stuff I missed out on. This console is pretty cool, and it does go for anywhere from $70-something to $300 online. And we're going to cover gameplay. We're going to show everything. I'm going to go deep in style with this thing. Like I said, I got it from discount. I don't know, something. It'll be up in the header. You know, you can't remember everything when you try to tell people stuff, but it doesn't matter. You know, because as far as it goes, I'll just put a link in there and whatever. Really, like I said, is make sure you get a connector. If you're not going to plug it in, test your connection with the USB thing. I will have a picture and a link in the video showing you what I'm talking about, okay? I have several of them myself. You don't want to short these out. If you're going to play these often, like your mini consoles that come with the USB that don't have an actual wall plug, that has like a regulator in there, you know, then you have to plug it into a port that supplies the 5-volt steady. Not drop down, not spikes, not fluctuates. A steady 5-volt. I'm going to show you guys the tester that you need to check your plugs. Don't be plugging them into just any random thing, okay? USB is supposed to be just a steady 5 volts, and if you see it fluctuating, that's not good, okay? Just want to emphasize that before I go to gameplay. So, that's it for this video today. Catch you on the next one. Let's check out the gameplay video now. Let's see what this console has in it. And I'll see you on that one. Okay, so we're showing how this is hooked up here. We have it plugged in, and whenever you turn it on, you know, I have everything wired up and everything set up, and then I have it running on my screen. As you can see, you're going to see a screen like this for English, and we're going to continue on through the actual video capture instead of hands-on. Everything is plugged in good, and just wanted to show you. It's real simple, nothing hard, and let's continue. Okay, so as you'll see, that's how it starts up, and it's going to ask for English. Obviously, we're English, and then it's going to say turn the console on off, quit the game, go to home screen is the reset button, and then change virtual disk during gameplay. So what is this virtual disks during gameplay? How does that mean? So I'm thinking changing virtual disc. Maybe that's for games that came with multiple discs. Is this a modded system that I got from eBay? If that's the case, that's fucking awesome. If not, oh well. So, let's check this out. See important health and safety stuff, right? Okay. So, this is how it is. I don't know if this is actual how the PlayStation is on the other one. I thought it was, who knows? So, let's check this out. We have Battle, Cool Borders. We've got Destruction Derby. Destruction Derby was actually kind of fun. And then we have Final Fantasy on here, which is a very long game, which is a multiple disc game, I'm sure. Grand Theft Auto. Did this come with Grand Theft Auto? The original Grand Theft Auto was horrible. Cube, the Cube game. Jumping Flash, Metal Gear. That's back when Metal Gear was kind of fun. You know, Mr. Driller, I don't know why that's on there. Oddworld, that was a cool, very high graphic game. When it came to Xbox, it was really good looking then. Then we have Rayman, and then Resident Evil Director's Cut. That's the one that I really like and prefer. Persona. I don't know if I remember that. Ridge Racer Type 4. Puzzle Fighter. Siphon Filter. You know, we got Rainbow Six on here. Wow, I didn't even know Rainbow Six came out on PlayStation. I thought that was PlayStation 2. Okay. The original Twisted Metal, which was like the shittiest one. I think Twisted Metal 2 and 3 were my favorites. And then Twisted Metal Black, because they had that music in there. And I liked it when Rob Zombie was in the game. Yeah, the Rob Zombie, was it 3 Rob Zombie was in, and then 4. So, you know, I thought the Rob Zombie thing was kind of cool. They used his music and stuff like that. But is that really all you get? So, I'm going to just kind of... what is this console button guide? Oh, that's it. There's some stuff down here. Settings, guides. Is there really a guide? Console button guide? What is that? Oh. Oh, geez. They give you a little QR code for that. And then what's in the settings here? Just some stuff. Screensaver on or off. Wow. I wonder what the screensaver looks like, though. Power save. Restore to default. Initialize console. What does that mean? All resume points saved. Memory cards will be deleted and default will be restored. Are you sure you want to do this? No. So legal notice, that don't mean nothing. Guides are obviously click with your phone to look at. And then it's got an internal memory card apparently. And then a resume point. And that's pretty much all it's got. When it comes to these games, they're not too bad. But I think we'll try Oddworld. I'll be doing a video in the future here of Resident Evil and deep in-depth gameplay of, you know, showing everything of all the Resident Evil games and all that stuff. But everybody does that already. My videos are going to be a little bit different. We're going to actually do add-ons and additional stuff. It's just right now we're waiting until the channel reaches a certain level before you do the big time stuff, because you're not going to get anything for it. It's not going to be worth anything to you if you do it now, right? So I don't know why they would have Puzzle Fighter on there and not Street Fighter itself, you know. This Tycoon game was like a PlayStation kind of thing, you know, but they're missing a lot of games that were the big hits, and this is why the actual PlayStation Mini was kind of sucked, and nobody wanted to buy it. And that's why when you have like CEO people out there, they only put out this many games. Well, the PlayStation 1 should have had at least 50 games on there, all right? And what they're missing on here is a game that everybody loved. Was it Medieval? Okay, Medieval should have been on here, okay? These things would have sold up a lot more if you had more games to pick from. I don't know if there's some like unlocks or something. We'll find out, but this is why you buy a modded PlayStation 1, because it has all the games. And that's really the way to have it. I was going to buy a modded one, but it really don't matter because I've already got all the PlayStation stuff we need. Let's check this out. What a strange game. And I'm wondering why the sound is different versus that sound. So am I going to have to do like an edit sound or something?
This is Rupture Farms. They say it's the biggest beef processing plant on Oddworld. I used to work here. Well, I was really a slave, like all the others.
I just skipped it. So let's check out some gameplay here. So the controls of moving him is, it feels a little delayed. Like, it just, you know, when you push forward, it kind of keeps walking. Like, I don't know if that's how the original game was, that you would keep walking like this. Like, I push, and it's going. Push, and it's still going. Are the controls responsive? That's probably how this game was made. So apparently you can roll around and you can run by holding R1 or something. And then we have like, oh, you can... Stand here and hoist. And it tells you how to hoist. Oh, wow. That looked like something out of Donkey Kong Country. To enter the door, stand in front. Oh, this door here. You gotta push up. That's a door. I thought that was just a black background. Okay, so apparently this game is, you know, it's not really my favorite kind of game. Is he gonna shoot me? Oh, okay. I thought that's what those were. I thought that would blow me up. Well, everybody gets to check it out, you know, and The response to jump is delayed, so I don't know if that's the actual console or the game itself. Because Abe's Oddworld was a 3D platformer, or a 3D game, and this is kind of more like just a side-scrolling 2D platformer. And the side-scrolling platformer kind of sucks. So, with that being said, I would rather play the other Abe's Oddworld. That one's a better one. Like I said, they put a whole bunch of games on this console that sucked, and nobody I know really bought one because of that reason. The TurboGrafx was a good one, but they missed Keith Courage. And obviously the Super Nintendo Mini was a good buy, and so was the regular Nintendo one, but I like the mini console idea. It's just you guys are missing out on you guys could do a second edition where the console is orange or blue or green and say Nintendo 64 Gold Edition or this or that, and comes with like 100 games on it, $200, you know, something like that. I'd do it, you know, or more than 200, whatever, dude. You know, just make it and put all the games on there, you know, and we would buy those mini consoles up like crazy. The problem with the PlayStation 1 is it didn't come with shit for games, and it put crappy games on there. Only good thing is like maybe 2 games on there. You know, the Resident Evil is a good game. They're like, oh, we gotta have that. Why couldn't you get all of them or as many? I mean, PlayStation was always good about having a lot of games. When it came to PlayStation, I think PlayStation had more games than Nintendo did. You know, it was ridiculous. So the Sega Genesis Mini was cool. There was more than one edition made. There was a Master System one and this and that. Those were cool because they had a lot of stuff on there, and there was even one that came out that had like all the Mortal Kombat. So I don't know. When it comes to stuff, stay away from the PlayStation Mini and just buy the TurboGrafx one or the Super Nintendo one. Till next time, subscribe. Talk to you later.
Click on Zombie Apocalypse.